Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if you are new here, and in this video I am going to be giving an October update for our homeschool. So if you are new here, I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. My 5-year-old is in kindergarten, and my 3-year-old we are sort of doing pre-K3 with. I will give you an update on that. And obviously the baby is not learning. We are just trying to keep her busy while we do homeschool. So yeah, I'm just going to jump right into it and get you updated on how the past month has gone. So I'm going to start with Shane, my oldest, because I have the most to update you on with him. So the first thing I wanted to update you with Shane is that it has been challenging trying to get Shane to focus on school while his brother and his sister are around. Sometimes it's necessary for us to do school while his brother and his sister are around, or sometimes I just want to get it done and I don't want to wait until they're both, sleeping or busy. And so I will occasionally try to do school while my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old is around. And it usually doesn't end very well. If you saw my homeschool with me video, I kind of alluded to that in it. Like you could see I'm feeling stressed because I have the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old with me while I'm trying to get Shane to focus. I don't know if all 5-year-olds are like this. Let me know if yours is. I am assuming that a lot of them are because they're only 5, but Shane has a really hard time focusing when there's really any kind of distraction around him. Even when my 3-year-old is like sitting there quietly and he's like, I'll give him like a workbook to just like color in and do whatever he wants to keep himself busy and like he kind of feels like he's participating. Even when he's doing that, like quietly, he's not talking, he's not trying to get Shane's attention. Shane even still sometimes has a hard time just focusing on his own work. So yeah, let me know if your children are like that as well. Like I said, I feel like maybe it's a common thing, but maybe it's not. I don't know. So what I try to do to help with this issue is I usually wait until the baby is down for her nap because she is probably the most difficult one to keep entertained while I'm doing school. She's like a very needy 1-year-old. She will play by herself sometimes, but she doesn't like to, and she doesn't do it for very long. So I just to kind of check that off the box, get it out of the way of something that I have to worry about, I just decide I'll just wait till she goes down for her nap. I wake up, we do breakfast, I clean up the house, I get like a lot of the house things I need to do out of the way, and then it's usually time for her nap, and then I'll put her down, and then we'll do school. And then depending on the day, I will either have Riley come sit with us and try to do the workbook thing. Like I said, I'll let him just have a workbook. He's not like following directions in it or anything. He's just kind of like circling things, coloring things as he pleases. And that will sometimes work. He will just do that quietly. Sometimes he'll try to distract Shane, but yeah, that's one thing that I'll do. Or sometimes I will let him, I think I've talked about this on my channel already. Sometimes I will let him listen to like books being read to him. So our library has an app that I can just give to him and then he clicks on the books, it reads it to him. And so it is screen time, but it feels like better screen time than just giving him like a show. Although I'm not against doing that, I just usually try to save their screen time so that they could do it together and that I get sort of like a break when they're watching a show or something. So that's the other option. And then occasionally he'll just play with toys on his own in the other room. And again, sometimes he's happy to do that. He's my little introvert, so I think sometimes he doesn't mind playing by himself. And then the last option is sometimes I will do school with him first, and I'll get to his update later and I'll tell you kind of like what I'm doing with him. But sometimes I'll do that with him first and then I'll get to Shane, and so he kind of like feels like he's had some like mommy time and that he will play contentedly after that. Oh, also one other thing I forgot. I also will give him puzzles. We have like little wooden puzzles that I have in our like dining room homeschool area, and he'll play with those sometimes the whole times too that we're doing school. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm combating it, and it sort of works. it sort of doesn't. As I get into more of the update with Shane, I'll explain kind of what I mean with that. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to mention is in my last update, which was kind of like my August, September update, I mentioned that I am taking a more relaxed approach to school this year, and I definitely continued that into this month. I did plan out our year. Like, I went through both of our curriculum books and I kind of planned out what lesson we're going to do on which day. I don't stick to that completely, but I try to gauge like if we're ahead or behind. And I don't like, the thing is with The Good and the Beautiful, it is 30 weeks. So it feels like there's not a whole lot to do, like, because it's 4 days a week for 30 weeks. And so even with the way that I planned it out, I have us like taking December off, having like a 2-week spring break, and then we still get like 3 months off in the summer. And so I do want to get a video like explaining how I planned that. So I'm going to try to film that. I just kind of feel like I don't have enough to say on it, but maybe if I go to film it, it will be longer than I expect. Or maybe I'll put that in like a day in the life kind of a video or something. But I do want to get that out on my channel as well. I haven't been filming as much. I kind of like fell out of the routine. I had like a decent routine last year during like preschool and stuff, and getting back into it has been really difficult, but I am trying to get into a better routine to film more videos. So hopefully I'll be able to keep up with that. So yeah, I do want to film the schedule one, but just I kind of feel like I have like a more relaxed approach because it doesn't feel like I have a whole lot of ground to cover this year. And so this past month, there were like some weeks where we only did school 2 days a week, and then some where we only did school 3 days a week. And we were supposed to take a week off because that's actually the other thing that I planned is like every month we basically have a week off. And so because we were kind of doing it so slowly that we didn't technically take a full week off, but I think the week that we were supposed to take off, we only did school 1 or 2 days a week. So like I said, doing like a very relaxed approach this year. I also think I mentioned, but I have also not been doing as many read alouds as I would like. So I really want to get back into that and kind of like have a different headspace toward it. But I also just recognize that like Shane is kind of where he should be in terms of like what he knows for math and language arts. And so I think that that's kind of what's playing into my more relaxed approach this year. I also realized that last year was the first year we were homeschooling, and so I felt like I needed a lot more mental energy put into it because I was still really trying to figure it out and trying to make sure that I could do it. Like I wanted to make sure that like I succeeded and that Shane learned and that this was going to be a good fit for us. And so I think that was a lot of it. And I put a lot of effort into it and a lot of thought, and it took up a lot of my time. And this year, I just feel like because I did that last year, I kind of got him almost ahead of where he needed to be last year. And so this year I'm kind of taking a less of an intense approach, but we're still obviously following the schedule. We're still going to get what we need to get done this year. But yes, so that's like a little update on how I'm feeling about The Good and the Beautiful. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. You let me know how you feel about that sort of thing, especially if you're doing The Good and the Beautiful. Do you feel like because it's not like a very long curriculum, like it's not 36 weeks like some other curriculums, does it make you feel like have a lot more time and so you don't stay as like diligent as staying completely on top of it? Could you have so many weeks that you can take off? Yeah, let me know about that because I'm curious to see if I'm the only one or what. It also makes me wonder if I need to like have that be a factor into like, should we switch curriculums if we're being too relaxed about it? I don't really know. I do think it is working for us overall. Another video that I do plan to film is a Good and the Beautiful kindergarten language arts like first impressions, because we are almost through with a third of the curriculum, which is just crazy. I can't believe that like we're already a third into the school year. I don't know how it goes so fast, but I definitely want to film that. And so another update on The Good and the Beautiful is that I have noticed that Shane is definitely not loving the Good and the Beautiful language arts. I will say he's definitely not hating it or anything. He's not like having meltdowns or complaining a lot through it, but he is having a hard time focusing, and it's not through the math. Like he really enjoys the math, the Good and the Beautiful math, but I think he just doesn't really enjoy reading right now. It's a challenge for him, even though he can do it. He's not really like making a whole lot of progress in the sense of like remembering words. I mean, he is, but it just seems to be a struggle. And it seems to be like the reason he is being distracted by his brother and by all the other things in the room is because I don't think he like wants to be focused on it, if that makes sense. And so something that I think I'm going to do to try to help with this is I think I might purchase the second ready to read program. I think it's At the Pond. We did Burrows and Holes at the end of preschool, and I think he enjoyed that more, but he also, I mean, it was a little bit of the same thing, but I think it's a little bit easier because they do word families, where the Good and the Beautiful is like they're just learning. It's really just like a lot of 3-letter words, and it's all different combinations of the endings and everything. So he has to always be sounding out letters, and it's not like can remember like the word family. So he also really enjoys learning about nature and animals and all that kind of a thing. And so even if it doesn't help with the whole, like he enjoys it more because of the format, I think he will just really enjoy learning about the animals and all of that. And I miss actually doing that. I think I said that in the last update. So I think starting in November, which I can't believe it's almost November already, next week, I think I'll purchase that and we'll start that out. And so next month I'll have an update on how that's gone and if that's helped with his like not really wanting to focus on reading, or if it's not going to help. If you have any older kids, if you can give any help with like, is this a normal thing, or is it just like his age? Did your kids like go through anything similar? I'd really love to know. And so the last little thing that I will update you on for Shane specifically is I already touched on it a little bit with the Good and the Beautiful math. He is enjoying the math for sure. He has always liked it. We started the Good and the Beautiful math kindergarten in preschool, and I think we did maybe 20 to 30 lessons. So it wasn't like we were super far into it. We're on lesson like 52 or 53 now, and he still enjoys it. It's very simple. It's very quick, which I think is helpful. But he knows a lot of the information as well, so I don't know if that's part of it, but he enjoys learning about the subjects. He loves, like, we just started learning about time, and he's really enjoying that. And so really that's the only update I really have for the Good and the Beautiful math is it's working so far. He's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, so that's great. And so I guess for the last little bit, I will update you on Riley, my 3-year-old, and how things are going. I think it's pretty similar to what I said in the last update on him. I think I did a little update on him in my last homeschool update, but we are still doing some workbooks with him. I bought a couple workbooks for him. They're like specifically for 3-year-olds because he's a very young 3-year-old. He only turned 3 in July. So I'm not really trying to like necessarily like teach him anything. I'm just kind of getting him used to sitting down, and he wants to do school occasionally, and that's kind of my heart behind this. It's not really, I feel like he needs to learn anything, or I'm trying to keep him on like this certain level or anything like that. So honestly, I think we really just do school with him like once a week. It's usually when I have the headspace to sit down, and I already know I'm going to be spending probably about 45 minutes with Shane. And so I try to sit down with him for about like 10 or 15 minutes on the days that I feel like I have the mental headspace to do it. And so he, like, if he'll ask me to do school, then I think almost always will say yes. But he just doesn't ask every day. He asks about once a week. So that's what we've been doing. He has a little math workbook. I've been working on counting to 10 with him. He is sort of almost there, but he still is getting confused. And I want to work on the alphabet with him too, but I really haven't been doing that as much as I would like. But like I said, I really don't have like goals for him necessarily. So we're just doing a very relaxed approach. So yeah, that's kind of my update for Riley. So that is my October update for you guys. I'm really grateful that you are here, that you are watching this video. If you have any video suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments below. I am getting into more of a rhythm of filming again, and I'm really excited about it, and I'd really love to know what you would specifically like to see from me. I think I might try to do some like day in the life of a homeschool mom videos, not necessarily like watch me homeschool with my kids and walk that through. Like there might be a little bit of that in there, but more of like behind the scenes of what I am doing throughout the day. So I think that would be exciting. Let me know if that sounds interesting to you, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.